Welcome to Aspiring Golf Performance. This is where I get to sit down with a few of my clients or a few of my friends, and we get to chat about good times in the gym, you know, training guys like this guy and everything. You know, they're gonna give you some tips and some advice to where you can succeed at the next level. If you're aspiring to be, you know, aspiring to play in college or to be a PGA pro, just sit back for a little bit and then listen to a few words of wisdom. So today, with this initial first video that we're doing here, kickoff for Aspire Golf Performance, we're gonna sit down with Tom Katsenes. He is a young dude from Chaparral, played Chaparral golf, and he is on his way headed to Westpoint. So he's gonna play golf there. So go ahead and we're gonna get his story and then kind of go from there. So yeah, awesome to get you rocking and rolling here. Sit down for a few minutes. With your busy schedule, you're getting ready to head off next week, so that's kind of why we wanted to get this rolling. So yeah, basically just give us a rundown of your story. Let the guys, little dudes or whoever else is watching at home, just kind of get them to know a little bit more about, you know, what do you do, you know, and you know, and what are you going to be doing?
Well, I played baseball all my life up until around freshman year, and then decided I kind of wanted to change and decided golf was the next route for me. Tried out freshman year, didn't make it freshman year, and then just kept practicing, kept working hard. Eventually made it my sophomore year and played sophomore, junior, and senior year. Played a bunch of junior golf tournaments, was the 2015 JGA Player of the Year for the boys 15-18 division going into my junior year.
Nice.
So it just, you can't put enough work in on the course, let alone in the gym as well.
So I think I've been training you for a year, maybe
a year and a half, probably.
Get in the gym from, you know, ability for you to be, you know, to come in knowing a little bit, right? And then to where you are.
Just,
you know,
knowing a ton
so,
now, yeah.
So we're gonna kind of build you up from when you first started playing golf. So we'll kind of go through some topics now. So with everything with Aspire Golf Performance, the four main topics that we all like to cover for every junior to get to know is basically life philosophy, or your philosophy of your life. Things that you're not going to learn at school, that you're going to learn on the street through, you know, trial and error, and then learn more about mindset, like reading awesome books for your mind, you know, reading more things about learning more about nutrition, and then also to learning in the gym environment, like Tom has a lot, where I get to know him a lot more into golf fitness. So starting right now, let's go back to where he really started. Like, how old were you when you first started playing golf?
I was headed into my freshman year of high school was when I really started actually getting down to it and really working hard. Up until then, I just played off and on during the summers, not taking it too seriously, just having fun with it.
How much time did you commit to? How much did you practice?
When I started playing, I practiced every day. I mean, every day after school, I'd head right to the course, first thing I'd do, and I'd stay till dark, just chipping, putting, hitting balls, going on the course, just anything to get better.
Yeah. How did you decide what to work on? Like,
what I felt my game was weak at, whether it be, well, sometimes it just be the course I practiced at didn't have the greatest facilities. So if one area was taken up, I'd go to the range, but if I felt my long game was suffering, I'd focus a lot on driving the ball in long irons or in 3-woods and stuff like that. If not, then maybe I'd head to the putting green and chip a little bit, try to work on saving some shots around the green.
Right. Awesome. Yeah. So when it comes to tournaments, how did you plan, or how did you shift your focus or decide to, like, what tournaments you wanted to play, and then what would you focus on, I guess, preparing for a tournament?
Well, I'd always play a practice round at the tournament. Whenever I signed up for the tournament, I'd play a practice round at the course it was at, no matter where, just because you never really want to go in blind. I know some people do that. For me, it wasn't the best solution, but getting a good sense of the course, how the greens hold, whether they spin or whether they're firm, whether they're fast or slow, knowing where to miss the ball, coming off the tee into the green, just knowing where to place the ball is the biggest part of scoring well in golf.
Yeah, cool, awesome. How did you know, like when you started out, and did you seek out a coach, like a golf coach, right? How did you know if your coach was good or not? Like, did you want to go through different ones?
Right.
Or was it your parents or a friend or somebody that referred you to a good golf coach?
Well, it was actually funny. My dad and I, when he first started, we picked out 4 or 5 different golf coaches, and the first one on the list happened to be Scott Watkins out at ASU Karsten. Went to him, took one lesson, and something clicked with us right away that I knew he was the one for me, and I haven't. 4 years later, I'm still working with him, and one of the greatest choices I've made with golf.
Awesome. I know that's always a big topic.
Yes.
Because there's some of the players that I do train, pros and everything. They've stuck with when they were a junior, they stuck with their coach the whole time. I mean, 10, 15 years.
You see Jordan Spieth, he started with Cameron McCormick when he was 13, and now he's 22 or something on tour with a couple majors, still working with the same guy. I mean, this is the key is to find someone you trust and someone you can be honest with and tell them what you need to get better at, and finding someone that will help you get better at that. And that's who I found.
What about shifting over to, like, when you go to the shifting gears now more over to the mental side? Like, what did you use? Did you get any kind of coach for like mental game?
We kind of did. Through our high school team at Chaparral, we had a mental coach who also works with the ASU men's and women's team named Debbie Cruz. She worked with us a couple times. I found it pretty valuable. She did these drills with us on the putting green where we'd work on different lengths putts, whether it's 3 feet, 5 feet, 7 feet, and she'd give us different situations. And even though it was on the putting green and it relatively didn't mean much, it was funny to see how much of an impact the different situations really made on us not being truly in the situation. And then from there, I just read some books. I read a bunch of Bob Rotella, Dr. Bob Rotella, read some of his stuff online. He's really good. Just kind of, the worst thing is you don't want to get down on yourself on the course, because you're out there by yourself. No one else, for most part in junior golf, you don't have a caddy. Your coach can't be out there. It's just, you're out there by yourself 99% of the time, and once you get down on yourself, then it's very hard to recover.
Absolutely.
So staying positive is definitely the key.
Yeah, mental.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Because I mean, you've had some moment where being in the gym, we talk about certain times. Staying sharp and how, I mean, golf, you get so frustrated. I mean, it's easy to get frustrated
easily.
And then when you start making errors, do they keep continuing on and on and on, right? Like that's like the mental side of golf. It's like you can get a double or a bogey, a couple, bogeys, and then how do you get off of that? Right, is the key with the mental side.
Right. One thing I try to do is say tee shot, hit an errant tee shot, hook it or slice it or something. Then right after I hit the shot, I'll say, okay, time to make a par. Just don't compound the mistake. Even if it means accepting a bogey, well, a bogey's better than a double or a triple. And then when you do happen to hit the fairway, hit a good tee shot, you can say, okay, time to make a birdie, and then get right back after it.
So transitioning a little bit further, with nutrition, like what have you learned like on the course nutrition?
Right.
Just even eating at home, maybe all that stuff.
It's been a huge key for me, because especially coming out of baseball is a little more physically demanding than golf. Whether you're running a lot, you're not. Not that golf isn't physically demanding. It's just baseball is a little more. So it was easy. It was easier for me to put on weight after I quit baseball. So getting back to nutrition, it was just, I've been eating a lot cleaner the past couple years. I know on the course, staying sharp is a huge key. I always have 2 peanut butter and jellies in my bag. I'll have half of one after the 4th or 5th hole, then finish it after the front 9, and then have the other half after 12 or 13, and then finish it around 17 or 18. Just so, because also it's easier to get down on yourself when you're not mentally sharp. Even if there's no reason to get down on yourself, it's easy to do when you're not sharp.
Yeah.
You need to stay tip top out there.
How much water do you drink? Like even on the course?
I drink too much to count, to be honest with you. You can never drink enough water. Yeah. That's for sure. Especially out here during the summer.
I know, yeah. In Arizona right now,
yeah.
It's like huge.
Yeah.
I find it with a lot of people, they, whether they have like coconut water, or, something like a noon tablet.
I used those a lot last summer. Those were great.
Or
there's Amino Vital. Yeah, that's another good one.
Different brands out there that you could actually put in your water.
Yeah.
That's going to giving you some electrolytes. If you're sweating a lot, I mean it's 100 or some degrees out now here, but if you're playing somewhere else,
yeah,
it's huge.
Noon was great for me. I went back to North Carolina last summer and played in a tournament, and it was super humid. It was only 84 degrees, but I mean, the humidity was off the charts. So you'd step out and start sweating immediately, and just pop to noon, and then get right back to it.
Yeah, because I mean, it's amazing. Like when and you could do travel air too. When you're out on the course, and there's times where you do not drink enough water, and you forget to eat.
Yeah.
I've been out there, and the next thing you know, it's like the 12th hole, 13th hole, and you're like, man, I should eat something or drink more.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Well, then you also lose strength too, and then you don't want that to happen.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Dude, what about stuff that you learned at home, like with breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Just to balance out kind of protein, carbs, fat, trans fat, sugars, all that kind of calorie. Watch your calorie intake, all that stuff.
When you were like 15, 16.
I had no clue what I was eating. Just
did you even care?
No, honestly, just didn't. Just ate it because it tastes good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just like seafood diet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just saw it, take it, eat it.
Yeah.
Now I'm still. I mean, the food I'm eating is great. I love it. It's a lot more natural. It's the right kind of. It's a lot of power foods like avocado, spinach, and then I eat a lot of eggs. Chicken. I love chicken. Love chicken.
Where's that? What Uber burrito?
Uberito is great. It's a cleaner version of Chipotle.
There you go.
Yeah. I went through a stretch over winter break where I was working out twice a day. I was working on the Army physical that I had to take as part of the application to Westpoint, and I was working on pull-ups. Pull-ups are not a strong suit in my game. Now they are. Just twice a day, every day. Just the supplements help me stay ready, stay active, stay loose, just stay focused too. And then the creatine helped me gain strength naturally still, but in a much quicker way.
Right.
Which I loved.
When you started, how much, like you were 100 and X pounds?
Probably 170, or no, I was probably close to 190 actually.
190?
Yeah.
And then thinking about how much stronger you've gotten in that span of time.
Right.
Really just learning, from the beginning, and we could go back to that, kind of jumping ahead, but and how much weight you put on and how much stronger you got by eating better, taking the supplements, and exercising more.
Right, yeah.
And did it affect your golf game?
I think my golf game got better.
There you go.
Honestly, I really do. I remember I took some time off when I was working out twice a day just because I needed to prioritize a little better, focus more on getting stronger, working on the physical I had to take, and then golf came back up after that was over, and immediately after I gained 25 yards with my irons, 30 yards with my driver. I mean,
you're a track man.
Yeah, first tournament I played, I flew the green with every club. It was annoying, but also kind of fun seeing hitting the ball farther, but obviously not being able to score quite well just because I didn't realize how much stronger I got.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing though. It makes golf, if you can control it, it makes golf a lot easier.
Because your mom was telling you that you're a kid, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You got some more meat on your back.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So with that, like when you first started coming in, you couldn't touch your toes.
No, could not. Now I can fairly easily.
Learning some of the things like in the gym, right? Like with mobility, stability.
Yeah.
And whenever he couldn't do anything, he got so frustrated because he's the type of personality that wanted to get it right no matter what.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where his tenacity comes in, you know, to really push through and to learn. I think it's going to help him later in life also when you think about that. Like, how you do anything is how you do everything, right? So when you're training in the gym,
that's true.
You know, and how does it reflect out on the golf course or in life or at your job or whatever it may be, right? You got to think about things like that. So, you know, that was an eye-opener for you.
Yeah.
Just learning all the little aspects of just...
I mean, a small thing like that, not be able to touch your toes is kind of frustrating just because it's a fairly easy task. I mean, you think it would be an easy task, but when you try to do it, it's a little harder than you think. And then, I mean, we worked on just flexibility and mobility and stability for probably 3-4 months just from the get-go, and now we're on to some heavier weights, which I enjoy a little more.
Right, because it's not all about when you first come in, right?
It's not about just benching, squatting,
It's not like when you think of a typical workout, like, you know, chest and triceps, back and bi, you know, a little bit of core.
I mean, I don't think we've ever actually even bench pressed.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever done that.
Right. Just working on things you need to work on that are specific to you.
Right, because you can...
And you building up the strength like deadlifting. You know, a lot of those types of, you know, those main lifts.
Right,
You know, split squats, you know, kettlebell, you know, Turkish get-up.
Yeah.
You know, functional things.
Yeah.
Functional workout drills rather than, you know, doing like bear crawls. Helping him move better, become a better athlete rather than having him just put on a bunch of weight and get stronger.
Yeah.
I mean, because then, you know, you look at a lot of the golfers today that are actually they're putting on some size, you know, like Jason Day or Rory or you know, even like Tiger back in the day, that, you know, if you get too tight, you can't move, it's going to affect your golf game.
Right. Yeah.
So a lot of that type of stuff, you know, you can be detrimental, and that's why. You know, training the right way is huge.
Right. Well, especially the things you have me doing. They work on, rather than just the big muscles, they work on all the muscles. So just the smaller ones too that aren't always targeted. It just makes them stronger. It makes it a lot easier to do bigger things.
Yeah. So what other questions about, you think, you know, about golf fitness, you know, that probably wraps it up, you think, for this part?
Yeah.
So then, just a few other questions, and then maybe we can kind of wrap this up. So hopefully you're not falling asleep at home, you're paying attention, right? What are some memorable things that you've had, like, with your junior career?
Well, my first win, for sure, I remember, it was at a Encanto golf course down in Phoenix. It's a par 70, so coming into the tournament, I made a goal. This is my first round in the 60s. First round I shot 68 first round, so accomplished that goal, and then followed it up with I think 71 next day. I ended up winning by 3 or 4, and from that win sparked I think I won my next 5 out of my next 8 tournaments that summer. So it's just huge momentum. And that was kind of the spark. That's when I realized I could play collegiate golf, and that's when I started reaching out to coaches and getting stuff back, and led me to the point I am now, where I'm headed out to play Division I golf.
So then, how do you transition that now from all the things you learn and having the confidence to go out there? How do you think? What are your goals leading now? And like you're pretty much, I mean, you're leaving your junior year behind you.
Right. Yeah. Junior career is over.
Boom. Division I. So how do you see yourself with?
Well, it's a whole different ball game. Amateur golf and collegiate golf from junior golf. It's competing with the big boys, basically. It's bigger courses, harder courses. Pins, the greens are going to be difficult, really fast. It's gonna be a lot more. You're gonna have to be a lot more precise than I think I would have had to have been in junior golf. You're gonna have to hit it farther, that's for sure. I mean, 300's the new norm now out in the amateur circuit and the collegiate circuit. Or back a couple of years ago, if you hit it 300, you're considered a pretty long guy. Now, if you don't hit it 300, you're considered you don't hit it far enough. So thankfully I already do that, but I know length's a huge advantage in golf now, especially as long as you can control it. Just because you can hit it 350. If you can't hit it straight, it doesn't matter.
What about fears, and how do you overcome it?
I don't know. Fears would probably be just, I don't know if they're not necessarily fears. It's just going to be a little bit of a learning curve. It's just, yeah, it's going to be a challenge. Getting used to the tougher courses, the longer courses, competing with guys that are going to shoot low at almost seemingly every round. Just getting over that hump, which I think will be coming in my freshman year, getting used to that. Just seeing that right off the bat too, I bet, will just be a big wake-up call, and then realizing that probably most of those guys aren't far off from where I am, and just relaxing and just keep grinding, and it'll all come together.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that when I remember when I look back when I was making that transition in my first year of college too, and because then you don't have your mom and dad anymore.
Right. Yeah.
And so you're basically boom, you're all by yourself, and then reality sets in, and you're like, this, if it's up to me, or if it's to be, it's up to me.
Right. Yeah.
That's really a good motto. When you look back, what would you even right now, what would you have done different?
Well, I've gotten to the gym a little earlier, because I didn't start seeing you till probably halfway through my junior year.
Yeah.
I would have come in, honestly, freshman year, halfway through freshman year, beginning of sophomore year, I think that definitely would have given me a leg up, because you don't see a lot of the younger freshmen or younger high school kids in the gym as much as they probably should need to be. Not saying that you need to go out and lift all the time, just working on stability, like mobility. It's amazing what that'll do to your golf game. Just being more balanced and smooth and loosened up. It's crazy what it'll do for you.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't even have to touch a weight. You can come in and just get more loose and you'll gain yards. You won't even have to physically get bigger.
I mean, because you were super tight.
Yeah, I was.
And then all of a sudden you lengthen.
Yeah, gained 30 yards.
Yeah.
Right.
Move better. So you're moving better.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So just kind of a random question now. If you had to give somebody a book or whatever you're reading at home right now, like what would be one or two books that you would recommend someone like a young junior to read, like at 8th grade or right now or whatever, depending on where they're at.
Right. Definitely. Actually, can I pull one of these out? Just, I don't know. You gave me this book. It's The Secrets of the World Class: Turning Mediocrity into Greatness. It's a great book. It's just there's a lot of good life lessons in this for sure. But it'll help your mental game quite a bit.
Yeah.
That's one that before every tournament, after every tournament. I mean, it doesn't even have to be before a tournament, after tournament. Just reading it, it'll give you a leg up. Mental strength can't be understated. It's right up there with making 5-footers. It's just if you're good, if you're really solid mentally, and you make 5-footers, you'll win a lot.
Yeah.
Basically.
So I guess wrapping this up, as you can see here on the website, and then Tom kind of has tests for it too. I created an ebook that has a lot more detail. That's with all the different topics. I mean, it's quite extensive to where you can keep learning basic life principles. What's your attitude like? What's your do you have your ego, or a lot of things like that. As you would look through the ebook stuff on mindset, on nutrition, and then you can have all kinds of different exercises that you can learn by looking at the ebook, right?
Yeah, that is great.
It's great. Looking at the ebook and as another resource for you to keep learning, rather than other books, that you could to kind of let you guys go at home. Always remember, keep learning, keep focusing on getting better, right? If you keep putting in that hard work over and over again, it'll get the results that you want in your life. Have a good night. Bye-bye.